Have you ever struggled to forgive someone? It's a common challenge many of us face. The pain of being hurt, betrayed, or let down can linger, making forgiveness seem impossible. But what if there was a natural way to forgive? A path that doesn't force or pressure you, but allows forgiveness to unfold organically? In this video, we'll explore how forgiveness can happen naturally, without struggle or strain. We'll look at why it's often so hard to forgive, what true forgiveness really means, and how we can create the conditions for it to occur effortlessly in our lives. Holding on to grudges and resentment can be like carrying a heavy weight. It affects our mental and emotional well-being, coloring our experiences and relationships. Many people think that forgiving means forgetting what happened or excusing bad behavior. This misunderstanding often makes forgiveness seem impossible or even undesirable. But true forgiveness is something different entirely. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of negative emotions, not about condoning harmful actions. To understand how forgiveness happens naturally, we need to first clarify what it really means. Forgiveness is a personal process of letting go of negative feelings toward someone who has hurt you. It doesn't require reconciliation or even communication with the other person. You can forgive someone without ever speaking to them again. Forgiveness is about your inner peace, not about the other person or your relationship with them. Interestingly, science has a lot to say about forgiveness. Research shows that forgiving has numerous benefits for our physical and mental health. It can lower blood pressure, reduce stress, improve sleep, and even boost our immune system. When we forgive, our brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, promoting a sense of well-being. This biological response suggests that humans are wired for forgiveness. It's a natural process that our bodies and minds support. The first step in the natural forgiveness process is recognizing and acknowledging your feelings. It's important to give yourself permission to feel hurt, angry, or betrayed. Suppressing these emotions or pretending they don't exist only prolongs the healing process. Take time to identify what you're feeling and why. You might find it helpful to write in a journal or talk to a trusted friend. The key is to allow these feelings to exist without judgment. This acknowledgement is not about dwelling on negative emotions, but about honestly facing them so you can begin to move through them. As you become more aware of your feelings, you may notice a natural shift in perspective. This doesn't happen overnight, but gradually, you might start to see the situation from different angles. You may begin to consider the other person's point of view or the circumstances that led to their actions. This doesn't mean you're excusing their behavior, but rather gaining a broader understanding of the situation. Human understanding is complex. We all have flaws, make mistakes, and sometimes hurt others unintentionally. Recognizing this shared human experience can naturally soften our hearts towards those who have hurt us. It's not about justifying harmful actions, but about acknowledging the imperfect nature of human beings, including ourselves. This shift in perspective often leads to the development of empathy, which is a powerful catalyst for forgiveness. Empathy allows us to connect with the humanity in others, even those who have hurt us. It doesn't mean agreeing with their actions, but it does mean trying to understand their motivations, fears, or struggles. Developing empathy is a skill that can be cultivated. One way to do this is by practicing perspective taking. Try to imagine the other person's life circumstances, their pressures, their own pain or fear. What might have led them to act the way they did? Again, this isn't about excusing behavior, but about deepening your understanding of human complexity. Another aspect of natural forgiveness is letting go of expectations. Often, we hold on to hurt because we're waiting for an apology or some form of acknowledgement from the other person. But tying your forgiveness to someone else's actions gives away your power. True forgiveness happens independently of the other person's behavior or attitude. Letting go of the expectation of an apology or changed behavior can be liberating. It puts the power of healing back in your hands. You're no longer waiting for someone else to make things right. You're choosing to free yourself from the burden of resentment, regardless of what the other person does or doesn't do. An often overlooked but crucial aspect of forgiveness is self-forgiveness. Many times, the anger we feel towards others is linked to anger we hold towards ourselves. We might blame ourselves for trusting someone who hurt us, for not seeing warning signs, or for our own mistakes that contributed to a situation. Self-forgiveness is about extending the same compassion to yourself that you're learning to extend to others. It involves acknowledging your own humanity, your right to make mistakes and learn from them. Practicing self-compassion can create a ripple effect, making it easier to forgive others as well. One way to reinforce the process of forgiveness is by creating a personal forgiveness ritual. This can be any practice that feels meaningful to you and helps solidify your intention to let go of hurt and resentment. Some people find it helpful to write a letter that they don't send, expressing their feelings and their decision to forgive. Others might choose to perform a symbolic act, like releasing a balloon or burning a piece of paper representing their hurt. These rituals can be powerful because they engage multiple senses and create a tangible representation of the internal process of forgiveness. They can serve as a milestone in your journey, marking the moment you chose to release the burden of unforgiveness. As you move through this natural process of forgiveness, you may start to notice its effects rippling out into other areas of your life. Forgiveness has the power to transform not just individual relationships, but entire communities. When we let go of resentment and blame, we open up space for understanding, compassion, and healing on a broader scale. Many people who have gone through the process of forgiveness report feeling lighter, more at peace, and more connected to others. They often find that their capacity for empathy and understanding grows, not just towards the person they've forgiven, but in all their relationships. It's important to note that forgiveness is often not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. Even after you've made the decision to forgive, you might find negative thoughts or feelings resurfacing from time to time. This is normal and doesn't mean you've failed at forgiveness. When these thoughts come up, gently remind yourself of your decision to forgive. You might find it helpful to have a phrase or mantra you can repeat, something like "I choose peace" or "I release this hurt." Over time, as you consistently choose forgiveness, these negative thoughts will likely become less frequent and less intense. Building resilience against future grievances is another important aspect of the forgiveness process. As you practice forgiveness, you're also developing skills that will help you navigate future conflicts or hurts with more grace and ease. You're learning to respond to difficulties with understanding and compassion rather than reacting with anger or blame. One way to build this resilience is by regularly practicing mindfulness or meditation. These techniques can help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to choose your responses more consciously. They can also help you stay grounded in the present moment, rather than getting caught up in past hurts or future worries. Another helpful practice is gratitude. Regularly focusing on what you're grateful for can shift your overall perspective, making it easier to move through challenges with a positive outlook. You might consider keeping a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things you're thankful for each day. It's also valuable to surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your growth and healing. Building a community that values forgiveness and emotional well-being can provide you with support and inspiration on your journey. Remember, forgiveness is a personal choice and a process. There's no timeline for when or how it should happen. By creating the right conditions, acknowledging your feelings, shifting perspectives, developing empathy, letting go of expectations, practicing self-forgiveness, and creating meaningful rituals, you allow forgiveness to unfold naturally. As you move through this process, be patient and kind with yourself. Forgiveness is a journey of personal growth and healing. It's not always easy, but the benefits it brings to your life and relationships are immeasurable. In conclusion, forgiveness is a natural human capacity that we can nurture and develop. It's not about forgetting or excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from the burden of resentment and negative emotions. By understanding the true nature of forgiveness and creating the right conditions, we allow it to happen organically, without force or struggle. As you go forward from this video, consider how you might apply these ideas in your own life. Is there a situation where you've been holding on to hurt or resentment? How might your life change if you were able to forgive? Remember, the journey of forgiveness is unique for everyone. Trust your own process and allow forgiveness to unfold naturally in its own time. Thank you for watching this video on how forgiveness happens naturally. We hope it has provided you with valuable insights and practical ideas for your own journey of healing and personal growth. Remember, every step you take towards forgiveness is a step towards greater peace and well-being in your life. Wishing you all the best on your path to forgiveness and healing.